And they're right, obviously, but, you know. And we have spawning down in the bottom right position, the blue Protoss player from Root Gaming. Give it up for Disc.
Have you been enjoying the DreamHack caster babes that you're getting, Steadfast?
Oh yeah, they've been lovely. Like, you know, they're very cordial and kind. They'll do like crossword puzzles. Yeah, it's just fantastic. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Really, just some highly educated people. It's fantastic.
Oh, the amenities you get for casting StarCraft. This is ridiculous. I can't even find a good ibuprofen that'll stop my throat from hurting. Oh, jeez. It's been a wild couple weeks, Steadfast, let me tell you. Stargate opener from Disc here. I love the Stargate opener. Man, I hope he does something crazy with it. I'm hoping for Void Ray straight across the south side of the map. We watched so many PvPs today, Steadfast, and so many Protoss players today, and we've only seen like a very limited number of Void Rays. I'm really hoping that the North American region brings them this evening.
Yeah, I am too a little bit. And this is actually, I think, one of the best maps to go Void Ray on. Because, as you mentioned, that bottom half of the map, very, very tricky to deal with. There's a lot of dead airspace, for example, at the natural in the bottom right corner. You can hop between the main and potential third, fourth, or fifth, depending on, you know, when you take it, or maybe never you take it. You never take it, I should say. But there's a lot of locations that you can jump between bases and cause really big problems for your opponent.
Yeah, there are. Unfortunately, instead of Void Ray, we're going to see Phoenix first.
Unfortunately.
Dang. More standard,
damn.
though.
Yes, and a very valuable unit, the ability to push the Overlords across the map. If you go Oracles, you can lift defensive Queens.
Nice.
And it is going to be that Oracle to follow it up. So no dream come true just yet. Silky is going to, having known that the Overlord is going to die, of course, he's going to poke in here with the with said Overlord and find the gas timing at the natural. And that's value. That's good stuff.
Steadfast, do you know what the concept of anchoring is psychologically?
What do you mean by that? I've not heard the term, actually.
It's a good one. Anchoring is basically when you present someone with an opportunity, they'll affix a price, and you tell them a price, like they'll affix that price to it immediately. So then if you're like, oh, but actually it's half that price, they're excited because they're like, oh, I was anchored to this first price you gave me, and now the second one seems cheaper, even if the first price you gave me is stupid long. The famous example is if you ask people, is the Mississippi River longer or shorter than 5,000 miles? Those people give you, and then you ask them to guess the actual length, they give you a lot longer length than if you ask, is it longer or shorter than 500 miles? And then people then give you much shorter responses for that length.
5,000 miles.
You know, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Just a quick trip across the Atlantic.
It doesn't matter what the first number is, right? It just matters what you anchored them to. I feel like after watching the EU qualifiers, I've been anchored to expecting Void Rays in every single Protoss game because that's what we saw in the EU qualifier. And now that we're still getting like a healthy number of Void Rays, just not as many as I thought, I feel disappointed, even though I should in no way be disappointed. And this is still a great build from Disc. Double Stargate Phoenix is still an amazing build, and it's still going to be a ton of fun. I'm just like, oh, there's not a Void Ray in every single game. Come on. So I've been anchored to the expectation of more Void Rays, which is why I keep bringing it up every single game.
Well put. That's you've been led astray by the cheesy EU Protosses. Finally, you can watch some more standard NA Protosses who play the game properly.
Somebody who's tuned into the stream who's been in a coma since 2019 is like, what the fuck? What?
What are you talking about?
So we got these, both players have opened up the bottom side of Golden Wall now, which is so crucial. This is one of the reasons we have so much fun on this map, is because the bottom isn't used as often as the top is. So a lot of the players just ignore it, whereas we see Disc expanding to the bottom, and Silky mining out the minerals from his main base to push onto the bottom as well. So both players having access to the bottom half of this map. Going to be very effective. 7 drone kills, by the way. Very effective. Those Phoenix really paying off already. Hydra's Den going down as Silky realizes he's got to do something to defend against these things.
Yeah, I missed that. Where did he go in with those? Was that the third base?
You know, I didn't actually see what it was. Oh, there are 4 adepts gone. There may have been an adept run by we were.
While I
was yammering about psychology, there was like actual StarCraft happening. Nice transfuses, dang.
Very nice, just in time. While we were casting earlier today, there was a player Solier, and he did actually ultimately take a game off mono, which was very good. But I noticed that his his transfuses were a little bit late, but perfect injects right there from Silky. Unfortunately, Disc a little bit sloppy with his positioning on his Phoenix. Has the one that was low on HP in the front.
Yep.
And yeah, a little bit unideal, a little bit not ideal, I should say.
Yeah. The follow-up, though, from Disc does look pretty good here. Sometimes you expect to see, like I said, Phoenix Colossus with, we saw that from M Canning earlier today. That's a very popular build, especially on North America. You see a lot of Phoenix Colossus on the NA server from Protoss players. But not looking like Phoenix Colossus this time. Instead, we see the Templar Archives coming down, and that +1 as well as Charge. So Charge Lot Archon with the Phoenix behind it, which could be really, really powerful against a Roach Hydra army. All those lifts available on the Hydras can really take a lot of DPS out of the battle very quickly. And then, of course, those Archons up against Roaches. Just a really nice nice fight for those Archons to take, especially Charge Lots. Tearing through them. I like Disc's position right now, but Silky, no slouch, already on 4 bases, doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, this 4th base did get denied a couple of times by the Phoenixes, but ultimately it has been taken, and he is on a nice drone count. Now these Phoenixes may find that that mineral line a little bit exposed before the Spore Crawler does finish up. That's going to be like 6 or 7 dead drones.
Gosh, it is. That Spore Crawl just not quite there in time. Luckily, I don't know if it's lucky or if it's just very well timed there from Disc. Either way, he is also going to spot the massive Hydralisks down south of 3rd base. Disc, get out of there, buddy. Get out. What are you doing? He's going to spot the massive Hydras there, and now he knows that he's up against a significant Hydra force. What? Disc, get out of there, buddy. What are you doing?
Okay, fortunately, it's just Queens throwing their darts, so it with only 3 of them, not underestimating the power of Queens. But with only 3 of them, not enough to take out any of the Phoenixes there. Disc, by the way, is transitioning into Storm as well as he takes that 4th base. Silky adding on a Hive and a Lurker Den, so going to be going for this very ranged upgrade style. Even going double ranged upgrades. Oh no, Silky, he is going to catch Disc very out of position, it looks like, right here. There is nothing really at the front. Oh, this Stasis Ward is potentially going to expire just before... Oh god, it's going to be so close.
No way.
Oh, no, there's an Observer. Overseer. Oh, it still triggers. That actually buys a lot of time.
Yeah, it doesn't make it for the Roaches, and there are no Ravagers in this fight. It seems like a bit of an oversight from Silky. You'll really want to have Ravagers, especially if you're planning on fighting up into a choke point. With the Force Fields there, that's going to buy Disc a lot of time to rally those forces back around. Now, they are still, as you said, way out of position, making their way down through the main base right now to go into the natural to reinforce, and that will drive Silky back. Just a bit of a botched attack, really, from Silky, and as you said, it could have been very, very dangerous with the entire army of Disc halfway across the bottom side of Golden Wall. Cancels, forcing cancel on those Lurkers there, but now no Lurkers are imminent.
Nice Storm right there, but Silky does mostly get away from it. Phoenix is a little bit too far forward right here. 2 of them will get picked off, but this is still okay for Silky. Ooh, big Roach run by at the bottom here. And, well, Zealots being warped in, not going to be enough to... well, maybe. Oh, that's a really nasty position for those Roaches to be in. The Zealots are going to have a very tough time dealing with this.
I love that Silky was focus firing half on the Zealots and half on those probes. There's a fight up in the main as well. Again, canceling. It looked like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe? Lurkers again getting canceled there. The Lurker count still at 0 despite Silky's best interest here. Disc is doing a really nice job putting pressure on his opponent and not letting Silky play this game that he's been setting up to play now for about 8 minutes.
Yeah, and the positioning of these Roaches, despite there being so many Zealots there, the Roaches kill almost all of them with that fantastic positioning. Now, it does ultimately get cleaned up, but I feel like that was pretty cost-efficient for Silky. Roaches, obviously, in the late game, even transforming them into Ravagers, not always the best army value when you get into that later stage. But getting some value with them now, that's always nice. And it's going to allow him to go into more Lurkers and Hydras.
Lurkers and Hydras are always good, man, especially if he finally gets those Lurkers down. Going for a Viper as well, so that he can pick off some of those more valuable units. I like the 1 Viper scrubbed in. It just always makes me a little bit happy. Blinding Clouds are super useful for driving the Protoss out of position. And the Lurker Egg's going to get caught again, but this time the Lurkers are down. Adaptive Talon's not finished yet for those... oh, it is finished for those Lurkers. Sorry, they do have that quick burrow. so they will be able to pop down very quickly. But there are only 4 lurkers left. There's no observer with, there is an observer with this army, so the lurker's going to get picked off here. I think Disc has just enough to drive through this, but Silky making 13 more roaches back home, and again putting pressure on that bottom 5 o'clock base.
Yeah, a really nice push on this base. Excellent lurker positioning right here. And the Zealots, oh god, they're going to funnel in and get eviscerated by these lurker spines. And, well, that base is effectively shut down for the next very significant period of time. A lot of the storms, oh man, these High Templar, there is an observer with high ground vision. So, wow, actually some really nice storms right there. But Silky is super far ahead right now. He is so maxed out. And, well, it's going to be up to Disc to try and end the game with this army. Big storms coming in right there, though.
Yeah, really nice storm. Storm's such a good unit, man. The top 12 o'clock, or the top base here at the 10 o'clock, still under duress. Disc is trying Silky's trying his best here to zone Disc out. Let me start all over again. Silky is trying his best to zone Disc out, and Disc will be pushed away. But behind Disc, there's the carnage that we saw earlier. The lurkers adding on a little bit more damage, and Disc is going to lose one of his bases. So Disc down to just 4 bases, whereas Silky's now up on 6. And Disc losing little bits and bobs of this army. This is not great. Must not have had recall available or just chose not to use it. And these lurkers still doing crazy damage.
Yeah, that was a really, really effective defense for Silky. Disc, even if he hadn't lost that 4th base, that would have been a very, very expensive army to lose. But in tandem with losing that 4th, now he does retake a 4th to the top side, but it is about to get collapsed on by a very well, that is a lot of Archon Zealots, so he should be able to clean this up. But Silky is on 2-2, by the way, so these units are a lot more robust than you might normally expect them to be in this scenario.
Man, I love the differences between the races in StarCraft 2. If you see 5 Archons, you're like, that's a lot of Archons. And if you see 30 Roaches, you're like, yeah, he doesn't have that many Roaches, so he's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. The lurkers do get down, the observer's still here, and there's no counter detection right now from Silky, so he's not able to snipe Disc's observer. I really would love to see him getting an overseer with this army, so if he can snipe that observer, those lurkers suddenly go from good to great in this series. As it is, the Zealot's going to get on top, and 1, 2, 3, all 4 lurkers going to get on right away. Costly losses for Silky.
Yes, but with all the losses that Disc has taken, they're maybe not the best abduct right there, kind of pulling the Archon into his opponent's units. And now we're seeing Void Rays join the map. They don't have any upgrades, though, and thanks to the way DPS works on Void Rays, well, as I say that, Silky's actually going to get pushed back a little bit here. But the way that the DPS works with Void Rays is armor is so strong against them. Their damage is basically like a damage over time, like it's a tip.
Right.
So the more armor you have, it makes a really, really big difference against Void Rays.
Right.
And carriers, for that matter.
Exactly. It's all those little tiny hits, right? It's the same reason that, like, Banshee's attack upgrades are so good, because they actually hit twice with every attack.
Yeah.
Those really weird, like, anomalies in StarCraft that just add to the depth and complexity of this game that we all love so very much. It's so good. Finally, though, you know what? It's nice to see Silky with 5 lurkers on the map. Love to see a few more, honestly. If you get up to that, like, 5, 6, 10 lurker count, that's when it really starts getting scary. As it is, just 5 going to be enough to zone Disc in, though, and oh my god, Disc cannot take this fight. Decent storms to zone Silky out, but it looks like another decent storm, actually, but that concave of lurkers going to be able to pick down those Archons so low. One Archon disappears, second one disappears before it hits the ground from the abduct, and Disc knows he can't do it. Psystorm Silky grabs game number 1.
That was really clinical play from Silky right there. Disc still performing quite well in that game number 1, but Silky, fantastic creep spread. That's something we didn't even talk about. The creep spread was amazing from Silky for that whole game. The defense, the counterattacking, just the positioning was all really, really nice.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. As game number 1 goes to our Zerg player, we're looking now at game number 2. I'm actually not sure what map this will be on. In the NA region, it's a little bit different. The players can make their own maps sometimes. I think we're waiting on our admin, though, for this one.
Possibly, yeah, maybe.
I mean, I feel like the map pool is going to be interesting, especially since they started on Golden Wall. Are they looking for more standard maps after this? And The answer comes to us immediately. Yes, they are. Everdream for map number 2. So a lot more standard as we get into our second map of the day. What do you expect to see here from Disc on Everdream? Do you think he's going to go for a similar opener here, go for the Mass Phoenix and try and put something off, or would it behoove him to try something different?
I think the double Stargate Phoenix is not as strong on this map. It's not as much dead airspace. You're a lot more vulnerable to like a Nidus all-in, or, you know, some kind of even Nidus push on like a third base a little bit later on. So I would like to see something more like maybe Glaive Adepts. You know, it's so good. But at the same time, Silky is so strong mechanically that you can't just bully him down with those. What would you like to see from Disc here?
I think Glaive Adepts. I think I want to see Disc go for something a little bit more simple, a little bit more safe, and a little bit more like guaranteed to have a little more damage over time than like setting up for one big attack and then expending it all at the same time. Whereas with Glaive Adepts, of course, you can kind of, you know, trickle a few in and they keep being dangerous for 2 or 3 more minutes. I'd love to see something like that. But honestly, I just want to see both players put on a great show. These are 2 players in serious contention to move on in the group. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they take this to a game 3, or if not, a 2-0 could be a really strong victory in the pocket of, if Silky can take game 2, it'll be a really strong victory in his pocket here in this group. So let's hop in.
Oh yeah, it would be huge.
Yeah, let's hop into Everdream LE for game number 2. And we're live, spawning in the top right-hand side. Oh, I almost got it wrong there. Spawning in the top right-hand side in the red, representing Root Gaming. It is our Protoss player, Disc.
And his opponent spawning down in the bottom left. One of the most underrated players in the entire scene, I think. It is the blue Zerg player with some really dominant play in game 1. It is Psystorm's Silky. And when I say dominant, I don't mean that he, you know, annihilated Disc. What I mean is that he always had the answer. It was a very close game. It was, you know, back and forth. Disc definitely had his opportunities, but Silky, at every point, just shut them down. He's just so strong, just so formidable on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, impenetrable is a weird word, but I feel like that's kind of what he was feeling that game. So hopefully he can keep it up here in game number 2. Maybe turn things around. Or Disc can turn things around maybe. Hatch gas pool for Silky, very standard play. Gateway expand for Disc, very standard play. Love to see both players going for standard options here on Everdream LE. I'd feel a bit robbed if game number 2 was like a 30-second, you know, bailing bust that just ended the game or something like that. So hopefully we see a little bit more action from both these guys, because they both do deserve their time in the sun. Drones coming off of gas here. All but one drone coming off of gas here. Steadfast, what does it tell you about a Zerg player when they start their +1 and leave one drone on gas?
Usually that's the most normal way of doing things. We did see Solier earlier on. He elected to take the one drone off, or all 3 drones off gas, but wasn't able. I mean, it's mostly a stylistic choice, but in general, most Zerg players will leave one on gas. Now, if you don't leave any on gas, that could be a tell that you may be going for. Oh, nice block right here from Disc. It's going to prevent the Lynx from running in here. Does lose the probe, but very important to denying that scout.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So basically, it could be an indicator that you're going for that build that Solier ended up going for, which was the 19 drone mass link all in. Oh,
that was a great game. That was so much fun. Now, this is certainly an odd choice. You know, I was said in the other game against a Terran player, I said when I see a Twilight Council against a Zerg player, you know, 99 times out of 100, that might be a bit much, but it's generally going to be that Glaive Adept push. Very interesting to see Disc going for Blink this game instead. Now, is Silky going to if Silky spots this, is he going to change his style to adapt to Blink instead of Twilight Council? Or is he just going to expect that it's Blink, go for the Roach? Well, he's already going for the Roach Warren. And I guess, does it change anything going for Blink instead of Glaive Adepts from the Zerg player's point of view.
Yes, it does. The problem is you can't know that until you see a lot of stalkers, or if you're using a production tab hack, you would have no idea that that's Blink. Like, there is no indicator. Really, until that stalker count becomes higher. Now, Silky is cutting drones at a really nice count right here. 38 drones is actually it's a pretty perfect response. Now, the one thing that's a little bit tricky for him is, because I think he is responding as though this is Glaive Adepts, is that he is not going to be getting a layer here, and Roach speed is really the big shutdown for this.
Yeah, and that's
so
a bit concerning.
Oh, sorry,
right?
Yeah, it means that you're going to have to always be fighting on creep, and if your opponent's Blink micro is like perfect, it's going to be really, really difficult to prevent them from just constantly trading cost efficiently. Now, Silky is still pumping out units, and he actually hasn't seen anything yet. Oh, okay, he's going to see the Warping of Stalkers, and this is going to let him know, yeah, this must, well, now he sees the Blink. This is Blink.
So, you've got no Roach speed. He's making mass lings right now. Is that the right call, or does he need to get more Roaches on the field right away, Steadfast?
Oh, the mass lings is an excellent choice. You want the lings to anchor and tank for the roaches, and as a result, you know, Blinks get forced back very prematurely. I think Silky should maybe be a little bit... I don't think he needs to be pushing quite so far without the roaches, but at the same time, he is going to get some value for it. He's going to be able to trap some of these stalkers against the wall. That was actually the point where I think he could have fought for maybe 1 or 2 more seconds.
Yeah,
picked off a couple more units. Oh, why did he blink forward? Why did Disc just blink forward?
A terrible mistake from Disc right there. Going to expose a lot of his stalkers here. Needs to wait for that blink cooldown to expire. Nice dodges on the corrosive biles, though. So he doesn't eat that big damage, but if we look at the units lost tab here, we can see only 2 stalkers have gone down so far. So it's been a very costly couple of engagements from Silky, and I think they're engagements he's needed to take, but still not great there. Ouch, losing the Ravager, not very helpful. But Disc has not done any economic damage yet, and this is giving Silky a lot of time to get some tech up back home. We see the Lair Tech finishing up, and that Hydra Den, I believe, just finished as well. Nope, it didn't. That was my imagination. It's just the Lair Tech. What was I thinking? There's no Lair Tech, there's no Hydra Den. I'm dumb.
That is okay. I've made my fair share of mistakes from time to time. We do see exceptionally good creep spread from Silky behind all this. And while, yeah, he did take some cost-inefficient trades, and I'm never fond of chasing after Blink Stalkers off of creep, the fact that behind all this, he pushed his own creep so far out while getting a layer, it makes it a really, really great situation for Silky. And, well, he's in a really great spot right now. The only thing that's not super good for him is his economy. And that could be a problem as disruptors hit the field.
Yeah, Disruptor is going to be a very real threat to the law and order on the Silky side of the map. So he's got to keep an eye on when those Disruptors pop out, and of course where they are if he possibly can. Now, Disc still only on 2 bases, which is probably a good sign as Silky's 4th base, about 3/4 of the way done. And speed finally is on the way. Silky has bought himself enough time with those lings pushing the Blink Stalkers back to get the speed up for his roaches, and that's going to really help him in his defense. And when combined with the creep spread that he's got to feel very good about defending all those different locations. Steadfast, what was that in Disc space?
That is a Colossus, and once again, Disc kind of caught without Blink off of cooldown, and he gets a few units, but he loses another Stalker, and because Disc is, well, there you go, starts up the 3rd Nexus, but because he's been on 2 base for so long, unit retention is really, really important, especially when you're investing in an upgrade that's designed to retain units. But yeah, the Colossus is a surprising move to me. I would not have expected this. I really thought... So the one big advantage of what Disc has been doing is that he's kept his opponent's economy from getting out of control. At which point, even a single Disruptor shot, if it kills 10 roaches, that's so much. You can't just replenish that as Silky off of 48 drones. But you'll never get that big shot with a Colossus. You'll have sustained DPS, which is nice, but yeah.
But you'll also be immediately surrounded by the 60 lings that are already on the map, right? Good defense here from Silky at the 3rd base, but yeah, I agree with you. Colossus, a very strange choice from Disc, especially when the supporting cast is all Stalker right now. There are no Zealots to get on top of the Zerglings, right, to create that space. There are no Archons to soak up the damage. There's a handful of Sentries, but they're all fairly low on energy, recently warped in. And the third base just finishing, so it's not like Disc has some miraculous economy where he can get up to 13 gates and just warp, warp, warp all day, all day, all day, long, long, long. He's going to have to stay on those stalkers, save as many as he can, and hope that he doesn't get surrounded. I'm a bit concerned. Already, Silky moving across the map. There's only that one Colossus out for Disc. Oh boy, this could hit like a truck.
Yeah, I will say I actually would not like to see... Okay, well, now it's not so bad. I still don't like the concept of pushing in here as Silky. Really nice force fields coming down from Disc, and this gives Disc the opportunity... Oh, beautiful force fields to catch a couple of those links. This gives Disc the opportunity to trade with an army very cost-efficiently on the defense. And Silky... Oh, really big corrosive vials on those sentries, but not enough to take them out. And... I would say this was very good for Disc.
It was.
Silky. Sorry, go on.
I was just say it was. Look at that army supply graph. Disc losing almost nothing in that engagement. Silky getting bruised pretty significantly, down from about 130 army supply down just 102, and now the army supplies even between these players are 110, but even for these two players, give or take. And of course, the army value way in favor of our Protoss player Disc there. 5,400 minerals and 2,400 gas. Just about 5k, 1.5k. So Silky's got to really hope for a good surround here and catch Disc out of position.
I do like that he's taking down these rocks very much. But, well, Disc, he's investing further into this game, but he has a bit of a timing right here. Extended Thermal Lance just finished, +1 attack just finished. He's got a good number of Colossus, and he knows that his opponent committed to a bit of a cost-inefficient attack. Now... He's not going to try and push the issue, and that is a little bit of a problem because Silky is swallowing this map up with creep. And that's going to mean that at any point in the next, if this goes uncontested for the next 2 or 3 minutes, we're literally going to be looking at creep spread at the basis of Disc.
I love it when that happens. Silky's 5th base, by the way, finishing up behind this. So while Disc is taking the time to really get his army supply or army composition really looking scary, that third Colossus getting added on, charge and +1, Silky seems to be going more economically focused, adding on +2, but only now getting centrifugal hooks for those banelings, only now getting +2 missile attacks for his roaches and ravagers. And yeah, it seems like he's focusing on his economy almost at the expense of getting some of that tech up. I'm not sure if that's a bit of a misplay from Silky or what's going on, but he's now maxed out, so Silky can start doing #JustZerg things and throwing away links left and right, going for some run buys, sacrificing 50 Zerglings for 2 Colossus. At this point, it's 100% worth it for something like that.
Yeah, 100%. 50 Zerglings for 2 Colossus in this state would probably win the game for Silky, just straight up, if he could somehow finagle that into happening. But we are seeing him actually start to tech up a little bit here as well. Ooh, nice surround on these Adepts. Gonna find one of them before the Shade finishes. Second one should warp away, but look how far into creep it is, and now it's gonna run into a Queen. Hallucinated Scout will see this hive. Sees that there's no gas here, so that may give him a little bit of, may make him a little bit confused as to what's actually happening.
Yeah, bit strange to have both gases on your 4th base, take the rich gas on your 5th, and still leave that one back home empty. We do see Hive, as you said, Lurker Den coming down now, so it looks like that Hydra Lurker play from Silky seems to be what he favored in the previous game on Golden Wall, and he's favoring it again here on Everdream LE. A little run by from Disc, not going to get too much done as there is a Spine Crawler there, and the Zealot's not target firing. And here's the run by, though, from Silky. Let's see if he can get probed. I don't think so. There's just enough left home from Disc. Man, this feels like both players have, like, giant medieval shields, and then little tiny plastic toy swords from the toy store, and they're like swinging their attacks, but their giant shields are bouncing them back. Nobody able to really garner a huge advantage right now.
No, not so much, but now we're finally seeing Silky start to move out, and it is going to be, as this Baneling run by. These are +2 Banelings, so it's going to be one-shotting probes if they can connect. And, well, the probes are going to try and run in towards the 3rd base, but there's so many Banelings here, and now this is just a bigger target. We're going to see Silky try and surround 18 probes already going down, and another one getting 9 more probes right there.
Oh, man. A little Zealot run by the other side might be able to do a bit of damage. The Zealot's finding a nice position. They will snipe a Queen, but no drones going down. However, Disc now realizes that it's do or die time, but look at Disc's supply. Is he building more probes? Yes, but he's also got 120 army supply on the map. 5 extended thermal lance Colossi moving forward. Now, good Bane shots on those Stalkers have softened up their energy just a little bit, but they're still mostly alive, and that base is going to fall as the lasers cut through it like a hot knife through coconut oil. I don't know. Whatever hot knives cut through.
Butter, you know.
Never heard of it.
Protoss.
There you go.
Discs.
A couple lurkers on the way here from Silky, and I think he's okay to lose some of these bases because he knows he's really sacked the economy of Disc. Disc not building any more probes, by the way, going all for Immortals, working on his +3 right now, and he's going to go all the way back home. Disc not pressing the attack right now. What is he doing? What? Oh, Steadfast, tell me it ain't true.
I actually like this if he just clears the creep here, like really sets it back to the Stone Age, because he did just pick off this 4th base. He denied the 5th, and well, he traded out okay. And as you said, he was slowly but surely rebuilding his economy. His probe count is still absolutely in the dumps, but that means that his army supply, his army value is crazy. And to be honest, Silky, while he does have these expensive Vipers, these expensive Lurkers, and, you know, a lot of Ravagers, the Ravagers, they don't necessarily stand up in a fight all that well.
Yeah, absolutely not. Corrosive Vials are about their only value right now. Their actual attacks don't do too terrible much. Ooh, Zealot's going to get a kill, not a cancel on that base as well. Nicely done as the Zealots continue to rain in from the north side. It looks like Disc is really turning the screws on Silky right now, and Silky simply can't respond to it. Beautiful force fields up there, keeping the Zerg player at bay. This is looking great for Disc.
Yeah, that was a fantastic little maneuver from Disc. The Zealot run by to the bottom, the Zealot run by to the top, and then while all of that was distracting Silky, he moves this whole army in and denies that base once again. Looks like disruptors that just popped out. Maybe a Ling run by, something, try to get them, and well, the disruptors took him out.
Nice. I love the Zealots on the south side here, still just patrolling, making sure, or standing watch, making sure that no drone's going to get that extra base down. And more lurkers coming in from Silky now, but as you said, Disc at this 136 army supply is crazy. Both players with a big bank, though, and Silky actually does have a lot of larva on the field. Well, a fair amount of larva on the field right now. Decent dodges from those disruptor balls, not huge shots, just getting the Ravagers. More dodges of the corrosive vials from Disc, though. Both these players doing this, my gosh, sorry, doing this dance so very well.
I was just about to praise Disc for the excellent positioning right there with his army. Stalkers in the front to protect protect the Colossus and disruptors from getting those big abducts on those very valuable units. And then literally right after he did that, he kind of moved the units in such a way that the Blink Stalkers had to blink away from those lurkers, and then he loses 2 Colossus and 2 disruptors. And
Steadfast, I love checking chat when you see one person complaining that Zerg is OP, and then like two chat lines later, somebody's like, "Oh, Protoss doesn't take any skill," and somebody's like, "Oh, Zerg doesn't take any skill." Man, usually the B-Stream chat is super lovely. We got a couple people in here who are less lovely than usual, but most of you are being amazing. Thank you all so much for joining us today. It's been so fun, and I hope, chat, that you have those griddles ready to go, because Disc is finishing up his fleet bacon up in the main base. There it is. A couple extra Stargates going down as well. Is it Tempest time or is it Carrier time, Steadfast?
I am thinking it's probably going to be Carrier time. Carrier is, of course, a little bit more robust. And I don't think... Oh, wow. I was going to say... I like that Silky's trading these out, by the way. I think that's a good decision.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, oh, my God. Big abducts coming in. But Disruptor will go down to the combined Hydra Ravager firepower. This is a lot of lurkers. Big Zealot run by at the top side is going to take out the static defense. A couple of these Hydras just now popping out. Not going to be able to quite deal with this. Oh, nice micro from Silky. And more units coming back home. He actually had enough there at the very end with a couple more units popping out. I love the addition of these mines, by the way.
So smart, right? You're floating 1,000 minerals. You got 75 drones previously. Why not build a couple spines? Nothing else. If nothing else, it slows your opponent down and buys you some time to get in a place to try and defend against it. So really not bad at all. Remember a long time ago when Disc was at 145 army supply? Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers that too. It just a long time gone now, and these players fairly even. This fight looking a lot better. I will say I'm a little bit worried that Silky's +3/+3 has been a little bit slow to come out. We already see +3 finished up for Disc, and he's even got +1 shields down. Where the hell are those drones going? Get back to work, fellas.
They missed.
Oh, so
they got, they got the shift supervisor was like, all right, I got the orders. You got to go over there. And they're like, really? Are you sure? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry. Just hang out. And big storms on these lurkers. Oh my God. They will take out most of the High Templar, but that was actually a really, really nice fight. And the abducts actually not helpful at all for Silky. And it abducts the army into Discs. Basically a situation that's good for Disc. Now, this big Roach run by on the bottom side is going to take out that fifth base. It was taken fourth, And, well, this may actually put Disc completely all in.
Yeah, I think he kind of has to be at this point. And he does have a terrifying army, right? But Silky's used most of his bank, actually, which is really scary. So he won't be able to remax right away.
Two of those high-energy Vipers being sniped off by Disc. Really, really nicely done. Do you think Disc has enough to push through here? He keeps forcing the cancel on these lurkers, not giving Silky any chance in this game to try and mount a proper defense. 3-3 may very well be denied. Not that there's actually that many melee units, but still, this really, really nice.
Seconds away from finishing for Silky. Those Lings just slightly less terrifying. And by the way, they don't have adrenal glands either. So Silky obviously trying to stay on Roach, Ravager, Hydra instead of getting those Lings out, but he might need them very soon. Both of his Spires going to go down as he pushes into his natural to try and defend here. I kind of like this play. Oh, decent disruptive balls done with good dodges from Silky all the same. I do kind of like this play from Silky, though. Force Disc up into your main base, force the recall out. He's going to lose his Hive Tech, which isn't great, but he could do a counter push, do a run by, and instead he's just going to let everything die and then let Disc recall, I guess. Okay, so I like this less than Silky than I thought previously, but he's still ahead in drones, and he's going for a counterattack, so the game's still on, man.
Yeah, he is going to get the kill on this fourth Nexus. They're both really, really in a rough spot economically right now. Yeah. The problem is Disc has not quite done enough damage to his opponent. Oh no, the Warping and High Templar gonna be found all on their own, and almost all of them getting taken out there. Those may have just been game-winning Roaches.
Man, remember,
those
guys,
were so good.
Even though the images for Storm stacks, the actual damage from Storm does not stack. So even though 37 Storms went down on top of those Roaches, they were only being affected by any one at any given time. Yikes. That was a really big snipe there. A lot of gas disappearing for Disc. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hive Tech being rebuilt, by the way, from Silky, so that's back on the way. And it looks like he's going to stay back home and defend for a little while longer, which I think I like, because Disc is only on 22 probes. So as long as Silky defends, he wins.
Yeah, especially keeping these newish bases alive. Really big value. All of his drones are currently at work right now and getting efficient mining, which can be an issue during these base trades. You may have, 20 more workers, but it may not always come into effect.
Right.
Nice Abduct will take down one of those disruptors. Second disruptor actually gets the shot on the lurker, but it does take 2 shots to kill.
Yeah.
What do you think? Can he still make it happen in this game?
I mean, yes, of course he can. He's got disruptors. He's got Colossus. One disruptor shot could change the course of history for sure. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that engagement's going to happen anytime soon, and Disc needs to press the issue. He's losing more probes back home to Roaches that Silky does not care about. Oh my god, every probe's so valuable right now. Unfortunately, not gonna. Oh my god, come on, Disc. You gotta save these boys. You've only got 15, 14 left. But Disc posturing right now to go for a push. And, oh jeez. He's got to make this work right here, right now. I think this might be our last fight, Steadfast. Wow, gets that yoink off just before the feedback finishes.
Yeah, and look at this Changeling, by the way. It sees the entire army every time it rotates. Finally, Disc doesn't take it out, but that was really, really nice. Ooh, Disruptor shot will grab one Hydra and, funnily enough, a Creep Tumor. But yeah, this is getting better and better for Silky with every moment that passes, without Disc forcing the issue. And, well, even a recall going to be have to be used right now. Oh, Sentry. Sentry even goes down there.
Jeez. Okay, so Disc is on 8 probes, right? But this is crazy to say. He can still win this. Look at the army supply, or the army value, rather. Silky's actually ahead in army value, but it's still close enough where it might actually matter. Disc does have a decent army here. Storms, Disruptors, Archons, Colossus. He's got a little bit of everything, a kitchen sink Protoss build here, and Silky's just now building 4 more Vipers to deal with these Colossus and hopefully yoink them in to the army of Lurkers that he's got on the other side of the map. So it's going to be a really tough battle for Disc right now, but he still could potentially theoretically win this one.
Ooh, a nice Disruptor shot to start it off. Does grab a couple of those Lurkers. And, well, the Lurker count just got... Oh, it's at 12. Oh, that's a... Oh, my... Oof. Huge storms on those Hydras. Not enough to take them out, but very good value. Now, if Disc, with this push, had 6 more High Templar with double storms, I think he maybe makes this happen. As it is, he is going to try and push in. Oh, my God. Huge Disruptor shots on the left side of the army. And he is actually breaking through Silky down an army supply. He may have done it. Disc may have done it in this game number 2.
I don't believe this. It would take about 1,000 lings right now to get this done, but look at the larva count. Only 9 larvae remaining. Gets the hide for the 2nd time this game. Now remember, every unit that Disc loses cannot be rebuilt. Every unit that Silky loses has a chance to come back as a Zergling in a second life. So as long as Silky has a spawning pool and a couple of hatcheries, he's got a prayer. Oh, man. Lurker's already down. God, this is so close, Steadfast. This is so freaking close.
Oh, nice Disruptor shots will take out a Spine Crawler and even the Changelings, funny enough. This is so Razor's Edge right now. Silky, he is not mining much gas right now, so he actually cannot afford to get really... Oh, is he going to try and go for a base trade here? I don't think that's the play necessarily. I think... Where are these drones going? Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
What? Where's innovation? I need a question mark in the chat somewhere. And like, what? What is this?
Right?
He's gonna catch these, right? He misses. I don't believe this. He misses him. Oh, he's transferring
this scouting probe
down to the bottom right-hand side for that. Oh, the probe's gonna spot him. Yeah, the probe spots him and now knows where the bases of Silky are, and that should be Disc's next point of attack. But oh my God, it's bot Disc time now. He's up to 69 army supply, giggity, and Disc is only on 80 now. So it's getting better and better for Silky. It's just still terrifying.
Yeah, and now these drones just now getting to this base. Disruptors will get dodged. They're trapped. They've been sent to the slaughter, and Disc, he never actually went up and cleared out this top left base. If Silky had just kept mining there with the drones, they would have stayed alive. Oh, nice snipe on a High Templar by a couple of Roaches. Wow, look at this superhero Roach. 8 kills?
Hokey smokes, that's a ton. Goodness gracious.
Wow, I can't believe these drones got left alive.
Unbelievable.
These drones are going on the Warp Tour right now. They are going every which way on this map.
But the thing is, Silky has enough minerals to build like 37,000 new hatcheries, right? So he could have hatcheries all over the map. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure why he's not doing that. Yeah, at least he'd spread out his risk a little more. But now Silky ahead in army supply. Granted, a lot of it is in Roach. And of course his bank is dwindling, but Disc has not added anything on in the last couple minutes. He's only got 8 probes. He's not building any more probes either. Man, if these Templar get picked off, the storms go down. This could be rough. Disruptor gonna get sniped here.
Oh, it does go down.
Man, Steadfast. Tell me as a Zerg player, how do you feel about this for Silky?
He is doing a good job of taking things slow, but well, actually, now this is really, really great for him. He is going to take the fight on creep. Will pick off, I think, another Disruptor. Disruptors are what is key. Actually, yeah, that was the last Disruptor. Now Silky is going to try and get on top of this, but big storm coming down.
The storm's buying Disc time, but like the hourglass is running thin, man. The last rose on the petal is about the last petal on the rose is about to drop off. You gotta go sooner rather than later. Disc, I don't know, thinks he's in some sort of weird world where he can like get a really good engagement against Silky and then maybe recall and come back. No, he's gonna burn his recall right now and loses one of the. Oh man, you can't afford to miss that immortal in the recall, man. Big mistake, huge.
Oh, nice target fire on the Roach to get some value out of it. But that's a big blow to Disc here, and not just because he loses, you know, the immortal. That was a hero. That was a hero immortal. It had like 22 kills, and that's really going to affect the morale of the Protoss army.
How do you feel about my pitch to Blizzard that if they want to sell something, they should sell hero unit skins? They don't do anything at all, but once a unit gets 20 kills, or 1 kill if it's a worker, it gets a special skin that you can't buy, you can't apply to anything else. It's the only way it gets some like dope-ass skin for being like a commander. I don't know, paint some stripes on it or something.
I think that's unironically the best idea. Like, I think Blizzard should have paid you like $100,000 for that.
Come on, Blizzard.
I mean that. Like, that is actually such a good idea, and I want it so bad now.
You would buy that unit pack, wouldn't you? That skin pack?
Oh, absolutely.
In a heartbeat, right? Just make them look.
And I'm so cheap.
Like, not weird. Don't make them look like weird or anything. Like a new skin. Just like I said, just like add a stripe or I don't know, some sort of flash of color or something to them. I think it's a great idea, and I think Blizzard should definitely pay me for that idea, for sure. Fuck, don't pay me. I just want to see it in game, Blizzard. Just make it happen. Anyway, Lurker's on his position here for Silky, and he's defending his base, but he's also getting that base in the top corner started up again, which means he's still going to have income coming in. The income has been so far in favor of Silky for the last 10 minutes. Disc has been working on 7 probes on 1 patch, and here we go. He's going to throw it all to the wind right now. Corrosive Bile's raining down, and Disc knows he can't